Hello everybody, welcome back. When we left off, I gave a basic introduction to Forza 4, and so now we're going to go ahead and explore the little thing, really just mess with the settings before our first race. So if you go into My Profile and Options, first thing you're going to want to do is check out, if you're using a steering wheel like me, the controller settings, and that is a picture of the wheel. The wheel is 60 bucks, basically wherever. It's actually really sensitive, really good, and but some of the buttons based on how you're driving are not, reasonable or useful. In this controller setting, keep in mind I'm not driving a stick shift, so the clutch as well as the shift up and down have no purpose for me. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to controller setting 2, and what that gives me the ability to do is toggle the telemetry, which is a very, very neat little thing which I'm going to show you guys during our first race. There's also settings with the HUD, and a lot of these you can actually change in, cockpit camera view. You can change that within race. Audio, all that, however you guys want to do it. Head tracking is a really neat feature. Unfortunately, I do not have Connect, but essentially what it is you can track your head movements using the Microsoft Connect, and literally you can look around in the car when you're driving to check your mirrors and stuff like that, which is a really cool feature. Just unfortunately I do not have Connect set up to do it. So we're going to go ahead and leave that, and we're going to go ahead and go race. We already talked about in the last video, if you missed it, the different things you can do. We're going to go ahead and do World Tour and follow in the first race. Our first race, we're going to be doing the Ford Spec series for the Affinity bonus, which we'll talk about after the race. So I already went through how to change the difficulty in the last video. Keep in mind, do that however you want to do it. Whatever you want to customize anything, go ahead and do it the way you want to do it. And we're going to go ahead and start the first race. Keep in mind, everybody, we're not driving Corvettes, so these cars are going to be particularly slow, and that's what you're going to be dealing with in the amateur division, and over time you will work your way up into better cars. There is my little Ford car, and we're going to have a good time. From here you have tons of options, dealing with tune setups and stuff like that. Audio, the HUD's there, difficulties there. Most of the stuff we've already gone over, and I'll talk to you more about the rest of the stuff later on. I'm going to go ahead and start the race, and hopefully we do well. Just spin that guy out completely. I normally don't tend to spin people out, but every now and then I'm kind of in an aggressive mood. Keep in mind, with this game though, the realism is exquisite. That's the best way to put it. The realism in this game is really good, so if you are in a lower weight car and you try to take out a car with higher weight, you can in fact spin yourself out. But, all these cars are the exact same size, so I'm not really worried about it. One thing that's cool in Forza, based on what you guys just saw, there are grades of things you do. Every turn is, if you look up top, and the top left under is a grade of what you need to do. There's a drift one. There's a drift one. There's a turn one. There's also a drafting grade. So on and so forth. Basically, everything you do is great. So, you can use that to your benefit. And let's say it was a turn earlier I messed up on. Let's see if I can do it better when I come up to it. It's just better ways of improving yourself And that's not, like, right there, a perfect turn. It didn't really seem like that much of an effort, but, you know, it was a perfect turn. So, basically, I think if you follow the drive line pretty accurately, you're going to be pretty good. As you can already see, I'm ahead of the pack by a long shot. This is the turn I missed last time. I got 2 out of 4 stars. That time I got a perfect turn, which is pretty awesome. I got 3 stars and I got another perfect turn. Keep in mind I do play a lot. I'm not really like amazing or anything, but I do have some experience in playing this game. So a lot of you, right there's an experience at its finest. But I think that's the car I spun out earlier. But we're not going to lap them. So as you can tell, the car already has damage on it, and that is actually, you know, if I hurt my car worse, I'd actually have damage. So we're going to go ahead and continue on. Once you win, you get credits, and based on your difficulty and what you do, like perfect turns, so on and so forth, you get bonuses. And this is what I was talking about with your affinity level, as opposed to your driver level. You could either get a credit bonus, or you can earn driver level. There's multiple different bonuses for the driver level. I already talked about that in the previous video. Every time you level up, you get a choice of a new car. And with the affinity level, you'll see, you get a discount and a credit bonus. So now if I want to upgrade my little car, as well as if I get a Focus, or a Fiesta, or another Ford, all performance parts for Fords now are 25% off just from this one race. Which when tuning higher end cars, like right now the parts aren't expensive, but when, you know, if I get a Ford GT, or, you know, a Ford Mustang, that's when the parts get really expensive.
Complete races to circle the globe and test your skill on a variety of tracks from around the world. Now it's off to Road Atlanta, one of America's classic circuits. From additional credits to affinity boosts, each race provides different bonuses for both your car and driver.
So to end this video out, we're going to go ahead and run another race.
With each completed race, you increase your affinity level for your car's manufacturer. As your affinity level increases, you'll receive parts discounts and cash prizes.
There you go. We're going to go ahead and start. Over time, though, one thing you're going to notice is through the first season, the payouts are around $3,000, and after a while, they get really hefty, which is really key. But to be honest with you, sometimes if you're not going out and buying cars, and you know, you really don't need to upgrade your cars too much to win. It really can go back down to driver skill. If you're terrible, yes, you're probably going to need a little bit better of a car over the competition in order to win. But if you're smooth and not so rough, you don't need the best car out there to win. You can literally beat the guys with just being a better driver. And that's a really key thing about this game. Is it really comes down to driving skills, because you can put anybody in a Ferrari Enzo, but if they don't know how to drive it, or if they can't drive it, they're going to end up in the gravel, or in the sand, or in a wall. So it just depends also on the difficulty levels you set and stuff. While we're in this race, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little talk about telemetry. And yes, you just saw it click on. That was, you know, you're not seeing things. This is what I was talking about earlier. When you get up to shifting, you can literally have what's called telemetry. And telemetry is a on-screen HUD of everything going on with your car. From general stats, you know, place and stuff like that, to they give you one of the categories is friction. And as you can tell, they give you a list of friction circles. And for those who know what they are, each one of those circles is what is connecting to the road underneath, the rubber that's actually there. And when those friction circles are overloaded, they'll get really big and turn red, and that's no sliding. Or they'll get really small and literally disappear, as you can see, no sliding. Or actually ABS is on, but literally it's the same thing at high rate of speed. And you can tell, for those who are watching that, you can tell if you're sliding what's wrong, and you can tell the car to respond. You use your movements to respond to what's going on. The next category is your suspension, and this is really the force that is put on your suspension. Basically, you can see how your suspension responds to the certain action you're putting your car through, braking on, and so forth. Next is body acceleration. Where are you moving in the car? If you're accelerating the car, clearly you're going to feel like you're moving back. If you turn, if you turn left, your body's going right, and it tells you basically your lateral G, or your G force, G's that are being put on you. It's really cool. Next is tire miscellaneous, and this is all the little details, pressure, wear, so on and so forth. See, barely using any tire wear, and I'm over probably halfway through the race. So you're not going to deal with tire wear really that much in the first couple of races, but if you were to go online and run like the 24-hour Le Mans races and stuff like that, you're gonna have to pay and deal with stuff like that. Here you can see the heat as well in your car, actually in the tires, but then your damage HUD, which is very important for those out there who are just ramming stuff constantly. You get a complete damage report, which is very helpful. You can see I don't have any damage currently. I have a little bit of side damage, which is not killer. And guys, that was it for telemetry as well as the race. We won. From here, you can review your replay as well as save it. Check out the leaderboards, if like in comparison to other people on server, and then the race results. Blah 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 blah. Bunch of stuff. Well, guys, thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, click the annotation in the top right, go to the next video, and always remember to subscribe. Thank you guys.